So what are you thinking about the Emmett Theater seating today? You still like it?
Yes.
I sent out an email last week, and to all the people that were at the fall congregational meeting, but for those of you who weren't, we did do a survey on many of the changes that we have made recently in the Sunday service format, and everything got thumbs up, 2/3 or more of the vote thumbs up, and we got 31 replies, by the way, out of 32 people there. So I thought that was a pretty good return for as far as surveys go. And there were just a couple things that we changed back that didn't get 2/3 of the vote. That was the divine love flowing through me instead of divine love that I am, and also not wanting commentary with the daily word quite yet. So the reason I'm starting my talk on the power of elimination, we've been going through a lot of that right here as far as releasing the old and embracing the new. And I just wanted to thank all of you for really such a resounding feedback of support. And for those of you who were in the minority, I had said in my email to you that I have heard you too. And it's not that we're never going to do things the way we used to do them or in a traditional manner. One of the things that I want to do is be flexible with how we're showing up on Sundays, and I really do feel there's a possibility at some point of instituting another service where we would have one at 9 and one at 10:30, and the 9 o'clock would be a traditional service, a service where you can come and have things done in a more familiar way perhaps for you if you're a long-term Unity True student and such. So as I said in the email, all things are possible, right? Yeah. Well, we've been spending the year looking at the 12 powers. I did this one year before, I think it was like the second year I was here, and somebody said, wow, we haven't visited the 12 powers in a long time. So we've been doing it all year. We've been doing 1 power a month. We've got 2 to go. We've got Elimination today and Life on December 7th. But does anybody remember the formula? The formula of how to remember, the easy formula of how to remember the powers? Lip juice flows. Juice being spelled J-U-Z-E. So lip juice flows. So what's the J?
Judgment.
Yeah. Why did I start with J? What's the L? Life or love, right? What's the I?
Imagination.
P.
Power.
J. You already got it. Judgment. U.
Understanding.
Z.
Zeal.
E.
Elimination.
F.
Faith.
L.
Love.
Love or life. Yep. O.
Order.
W.
Wisdom.
And S.
Or will.
S is always hard. Great. So see, it's easy to remember it that way. So why do we even want to know about these powers? Well, according to our founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, they really were the roadmap to how to demonstrate Christ consciousness, that we have these powers within us that are working all the time, whether we're conscious about it or not. If we become awake and conscious to these powers, we can spiritually activate them and have them function on a higher level, which will bring us from that sense consciousness, which most of us are going through life in that sense consciousness, move us from that higher and higher and higher into an expression of our true selves, what we say in Unity, our Christ selves, our Christ consciousness. You can call it something different. You can call it cosmic consciousness, universal consciousness, collective, well, not collective. We're definitely experiencing collective consciousness, but again, very often in a completely unconscious state, an unawake, unaware, unillumined state, where we're just kind of moving through things with the masses, believing the general beliefs that are out there about what? Violence, poverty, illness, disease, death, all the things that really cheer us up on a Sunday morning. So these 12, now sometimes people say, well, are these the only powers that we have? No. You know, we could list another 12. But these are the ones that, through the study, the metaphysical study of the Bible, of the teachings that we get through Jesus Christ, that Charles Fillmore and others believed were associated with these disciples. We know that in unity, right? We don't take the Bible literally, that every figure in the Bible metaphysically represents something within our spiritual development. So the 12 disciples, these guys, Peter, Paul, James, Thaddeus, whoever's, and on, aren't actual people that we're supposed to become fixated on, but they represent these spiritual powers, these spiritual faculties that reside within our consciousness. And so in the way that he called them forth to be with him was part of his journey of establishing Christ consciousness and having that demonstrate. So that's why we do it. That's why we spend all this time on it. There's so many books about it. And it really, really can change your life if you start working on these powers. So today is the power of elimination. It's also called the power of release and the power of renunciation. But, people think I'm not a traditionalist. I like to use the words that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore used, the power of elimination. Yeah, we get a little embarrassed by that. I don't know why. Because one of the things about this power is, you remember how I said it's always working, whether we're conscious of it or not? Well, one of the primary ways it works is in our physical bodies. And if we didn't have the power of elimination, guess what happens to us, folks? And we end up dead, We need that physical release of toxins and toxicity in our body. And it's, not through just our kidneys and so forth, but, what's one of the biggest organs on your body? Your skin. So it's always, always working on our behalf. And thank goodness that's going on. But there's also a way to activate the power of elimination for your mental thoughts, for your thoughts and your feelings, and also on even a higher basis that we call the spiritual activation of that power. So that's what I want to focus on today. There's a couple stories. I know I've told you these stories before. I'm going to start with one. But I don't think there's many better stories to kind of get us thinking why this is important in our lives. And this story is about two monks. I know you know it, right? Some of you have heard me say it. And they come to the ford in the river, and there's this woman there, and she's all dressed in her finery, and she doesn't know how to get, and the water's rushing, she can't get across the river. And these monks come from a very traditional brotherhood, where no physical contact with women is allowed. You don't touch women, it's absolutely against the rules. But one of the monks rushes forward, josts her up on his back and takes her across the river and sets her down. And they continue on their way. And the other monk, not too happy about this, and after about an hour, he turns to his brother and he says, I cannot believe you picked that woman up. It's against the rules of the brotherhood. How could you do that? And the monk, who got confronted, he walked on for a while quietly until he finally turned and said to his brother, he said, I set her down an hour ago. Why are you still carrying her? Why are you still carrying her? The power of elimination. Yesterday we had this big party for my mom. Her 90th birthday party. She looks tired today. I'm tired today, Mom. Too much partying. And one of the things that I was doing is I was socializing, with everybody that was there. We had a table for St. Luke's. There were two tables for St. Luke's, a table for WPI, a table for Framingham State College. My mom's been a resident in Paxton for 65 years. There was that table, Paxton folks. We had a unity table for some folks that are very involved with my mom and helping me care for her. And I went to this one table.